The first 10 years of this century, we have had three major crashes. In 2000 was the dot-com crash, followed by the 2006 real estate subprime crash, and then 2008, the banking crash. The question is this next?
In the most recent several months, economists' projections for a recession have been increasingly pessimistic. Reputable company executives, such as Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, and others, have forecast that a recession will start at the beginning of 2023 and persist for at least 18 to 24 months. Is a 2023 recession on the horizon? A major decrease in economic activity that is indicated by a reduction in aggregate demand and that ultimately results in lower levels of output, employment, and income is referred to as a recession. Annual planning 2023 recession. When people cut back on their spending because they lack confidence in the future, this is what happens to the economy. In point of fact, this is the exact reverse of what you want. You want individuals to make purchases. The question today is, how can you predict when a recession will begin? There are a number of warning indicators that point to the onset of a recession in 2023. Let's have a look at a few of them, shall we? Unemployment increases. In most cases, an increase in unemployment can be expected during a recession. The unemployment rate jumped from 4% to 10% during the Great Recession. It's because businesses aren't hiring new people, in case you were wondering why unemployment is becoming worse. As a result of declining sales or margins, they are eliminating positions and cutting back on employee hours. Economic growth slows down. Investment plans are put on hold for companies that have a diminished sense of optimism towards the economy. Companies scale back their investments in capital expenditures like establishing new factories and replacing old machinery. When businesses reduce their investment spending, they lower their revenue and, as a result, their profitability. The decrease in profits inevitably results in employees being let go. Businesses and consumers spend less. People tend to spend less money when they have less self-assurance over their financial situation. People are purchasing less automobiles, homes, appliances, clothes, and things related to entertainment. It's possible that customers won't spend as much if they don't have faith in their ability to handle their finances, which can lead to a loop that feeds on itself. Because of the increased difficulty in gaining access to cash during a recession, sound financial planning is even more important than usual and can have a significant bearing on the success of your company. Since the beginning of the decade and a half, the expansion of the global economy has continued unabated. However, a number of analysts believe that it may begin to slow down around 2023. There is no such thing as a recession-proof firm. Therefore, even if your company is expanding, the influence that a short-term economic slump has on the overall economy will have an effect on your company. During the annual planning for the recession, what are the most important things to know about getting ready for a possible economic slowdown? During the process of strategic planning for the recession, do you and your team feel prepared to make the difficult decisions? Plan ahead. Many investors started selling stocks and bonds as soon as the Federal Reserve announced that it intended to significantly raise interest rates in order to slow the economy and bring inflation under control. This move was taken in response to the Fed's announcement that it planned to significantly raise interest rates. They were concerned that rising interest rates would make it more difficult for companies to borrow money as well as for people to purchase homes and automobiles. Some financial experts believe that if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates to an unsustainable level, the economy would continue to contract, which will eventually lead to a recession. Be prepared for a recession. It is imperative that you have a savings account as well as an emergency fund in addition to conserving money. Remember that cash is king, and a good rule of thumb is to have a cash flow runway for your firm that is at least 6 months long. As market conditions become more difficult, you don't want to risk running out of money. Check that you have gone through all of the necessary expenses as well as all of the important line items in the budget. You should be ready to fire employees who aren't adding value to your company, and you should make sure that all of your decisions are driven by facts. Keep cash flowing. It is expected that businesses will reduce their spending as a result of fewer customers paying their bills. This results in a lower demand for products and services overall. During economic downturns, it is common practice for businesses to cut back on the number of employees they employ. However, this may not be the most effective long-term strategic move, given that you do not want to lose your most valuable employees. Look for warning signs. It would be to your advantage to keep a close watch on all of your key performance indicators, KPIs. If you've noticed a decline in sales, you should investigate the cause. Is there a problem with the product or the service that you provide? Are consumers making less purchases? Should you consider lowering your prices? Or perhaps you need to provide superior service to your customers. Maintain a keen awareness of the state of the economy in all sectors. You will have the ability to see what might be in store for your company in the future thanks to this. Think about adding on more people to your staff. If you anticipate needing further assistance, you might want to look about hiring highly skilled workers. Because there will soon be competent individuals available on the market who have not been there for the past many years, now might be the best moment to get your company ready for the years to come. When the economic downturn is over, what do you anticipate the state of your company to be? What kinds of skills do you need on your team in order to advance to the next level? It's possible that now is the moment to take risks, but before you do so, be sure you've done a thorough risk assessment. Try not to freak out. Even if there is a temporary slowdown in economic activity, the majority of economic analysts believe that there will not be another Great Depression. Despite this, it is in your best interest to have your guard up at all times. Make sure that both your mental and financial resources are in good shape. Even while a recession causes suffering, it also creates opportunities, therefore it is important to keep an eye out for any that may present themselves.
This is the giant crash of 1929. Every time I listen to those guys on CNBC, I call it bubble vision. They keep talking about the giant crash of 1929. I tell you what, it doesn't even compare to this one coming. So that's why I write and I speak, and I'm very concerned about our futures, our well-being, and the state of the economy.
But not long ago, I wrote that the best time to prepare for a crash is before a crash. The biggest crash in world history is coming. That got a lot of news. That's big news. The good news is the best time to get rich is during a crash. The bad news is the crash will be a long one, which is for me good news too. There's something about being old that is good. What I have is I've actually lived through history.
The S&P 500 is really the S&P 7, and it's being held up by Treasury Secretary Yellen and Powell. So there's no correlation between the economy and what Yellen and Powell are doing. I said one more thing is that I'm a little strange in that I like crashes. So this next crash is going to be really, really good, but it'll bring down gold, silver, Bitcoin, stocks. But the good news is a crash is a good time to get rich.
That's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts on our list? Let us know in the comments section below. And make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates.